What's up, A3 crew? Pilot 83 here, doing a highly requested video throughout the past, especially by my good friend Tremaine, who has requested this video for a good minute, and that is going over runway markings and taxiways and what they mean. So I'm going to go over this. First, I'm going to start with the runway today, and then I'll do another one on taxiways as my next video, just so the video is not too long. But so let's hop right into this, okay? So let's start with the most common thing we see on a runway, and that is this white dashed line, also known as the center line. The center line runs from beginning to end of the runway, each stripe being standardly, so this is not always the case, but standardly 120 feet long, 36 inches wide, so 3 feet wide, with 80-foot gaps in between them. The purpose of this line is to show the pilot the center of the runway and to also help aid the pilot on keeping his plane center as he comes down to the touch zone. Alright, now runway numbers. Very common question. What do they mean? How do we get runway numbers? What do they represent? Do they represent anything? And the answer is yes, they absolutely do. We get runway numbers from the direction the runway is facing on a compass. So the heading of the direction the runway is facing is how you get that number. So currently we are on runway 33. So that is not heading 033, that is heading 330. You drop the last digit, and that is how you get this number. So if we jump into the plane and look at our compass, we will see that we are facing heading 330. That is where this comes from. Now, if it was, say, 050 direction the runway was facing, then in America it would just say 5. Now in some other countries they keep the 0 and it will say 05. Still means the same thing. Also, the opposite end of the runway, or the direction you are facing, is going to be a 180-degree difference than the number here. So if this is 33, then subtract 18, because we're subtracting 180 degrees, or adding, either way, because it goes around in a circle, it would be heading 150. So at the end of this runway, the number is going to be 15. It will always be a difference of 180 degrees from north to south, east to west, whatever direction the runway is facing. So let's speed up real quick over here. So as we come to the end here, like I said, 180 degree difference, 15. So heading 150, they drop the 0. Now if it is not exact, so if it was like 047, it will either be rounded down or up to 040 or 050, and that would make it runway 4 or 5 or 0405, depending on if you were outside of the US. Next thing to go over is these white stripes right here, what we call threshold stripes. These indicate runway width, and I have a little graph right here you can look at that shows you how you measure this depending off the amount of stripes that we have. So we have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so a total of 12 stripes. That means that this runway is 150 feet wide is what that represents. That's how you know how wide your runway is. So some really good, neat information about that. Also, the runway numbers have to be 60 feet tall. So some more cool facts for you. These numbers are actually way bigger than they actually appear. Now, when we have things like parallel runways, or even say 3 runways running in the same direction beside each other, how do we know the difference when they're all labeled the same number? Well, Atlanta-Jackson is a good example of this, so let's jump there and let me show you. Okay, so here at Atlanta-Jackson is a good example of parallel runways. This airport has a lot going on. This is one of the busiest, not the busiest, but one of the busiest airports in America. So you'll notice things like this, where we have two runways running parallel with each other. They are both 8, so they are both at a heading of 080. To know the difference between which one to land on, you will notice under them there's an L and a R. The L stands for left, and the other one stands for right. So you will be told to land at runway 8 left or runway 8 right. Sometimes there are even 3 runways that run parallel together, and in that situation there will be a L, C, and R. So if there was another runway in the middle of these 3, it would be 8 left, 8 center, and 8 right. Now, another little point here to point out, runways that have more than 3 parallel runways will go down 1 digit of the compass, so of the heading. So let me show you. So this is 8. We're going to move on over here to the next set of parallel runways, and I'm going to show you. So like I said, it moves 1 digit of the compass or heading. So now we went from 8, now we are at 9. And we can even keep going because there is another set. So we'll jump over here. I believe it's 1 runway, and that will be runway 10. See, runway 10. So some good information from you. So at Atlanta here, it goes left to right, 8, 9, 10 on this side. And then, like I said before, the other side will be 180 degrees opposite of that. So now let's talk about the aiming point and touchdown markers. So these 2 solid parallel boxes that you see are your aiming point. This is what you're aiming at to touch down. This is so you do not land too early and land in the grass. These are also called your 1,000-foot markers. Now you'll also see these striped lines before and after. There's 3 there. 2, 2, 2, 1, 1. Those are also touchdown markers, because we can't expect every pilot to be perfect and get directly on the landing or the aiming point every time. So this is basically showing you how much time you have left before you need to perform a go around. So very helpful markers there. That is what those represent. Now, something else to keep in mind, and I will show you, the aiming point markers here are always either next to VASI, PAPI lights, or a glide slope or guidance system antenna. So you'll see on this one here, there's a guidance system antenna next to it. Alright, now we will jump over to the other side, and you will see some PAPI lights. Okay guys, so here we are. So like I said, you'll have the VASI, the PAPI, or the instrument guidance system right next to the aiming point zone right here. Like I said, these will be these solid rectangle boxes. Now, in other countries, sometimes like Europe, UK, these boxes will actually be 3 boxes, where it's 1 left, 1 to the right, 1 to the left, all touching, so they look a little bit different. Okay, but this is where you aim to touch down. Now, like I said, they're called 1,000-foot markers. They're always the perfect target to descend towards, and you should always plan to touch down on them or just beyond them. Try not to ever touch down before them. It's always better to land after the aiming point than it is before. There's rarely a time when landing on the numbers is safer than the aiming point. The aiming points are 150 feet long. They are 20 feet wide. Now, if a runway is shorter than 4,200 feet, the aiming points may be shortened to 100 feet in length. Alright, so a little information there about that. Let's move on and let's talk about blast pads and overrun areas. So, blast pad overrun area. This right here with the yellow stripes pointing forward like this, like arrows. This is a softer concrete This is an area that a plane should never go on or attempt to land on. This is a softer concrete that is not made to hold or bear the weight of a plane. The sole purpose of this is to protect the equipment and ground behind it from eroding. Alright, now there is a little example where you can go on to before the threshold, and that is a displaced threshold, and there's an example of that right back here to our left, which I will show you. Alright, so this is a displaced threshold. When you see these arrows pointing forward, they are an extension to the end of the runway. Aircraft are allowed to taxi and take off from the displaced threshold area here, but should not try to land on this area. Aiming point, like I said, is where you should try to land always. Now, something that it's not really shown in the sim too much or signified that I also would like to go over is at a lot of airports these days, especially big airports, at the end of the runway there are these concrete areas of this special type of soft concrete where if the plane does overrun the runway, this concrete is meant to crumble to stop the plane, which is really, really neat. So the plane just sinks into the ground, stops it before it can go into whatever's beyond that wall, if there's a highway there, water or whatever. So real interesting stuff. Thought I'd make a quick little video on this. I hope this video was helpful and explain a good bit to you. My next video we will be going over the taxiways, lights of the taxiways, signs, and all these different symbols and what they mean. So see you on my next video, guys. Pilot 83 here. Love you guys so much. Come join me and the team in our Discord. Hang out with one of the coolest communities there, guys. Come follow me and the team with our social media outlets. If you like what we're doing, guys, always feel free to donate to the channel, as it greatly helps, guys. And also come check out the merch store, guys, and buy yourself something there. We got shirts, hoodies, sweaters, mugs, pint glasses, patches about to release any day. As always, I'm Pilot 83. Love you guys so much. Unite and we fly, guys. Peace. What's up, guys? Pilot 83 here. Thank y'all so much for watching another one of my videos. If you liked the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And as always, y'all, remember, united we fly. See y'all in the air out there. Peace.